I don't know about you, but I am seeing all kinds of buzz out there about a 50-year amortization mortgage. And what's so interesting to me is the divisiveness, how people are so strongly opinionated, either for it or against it. And I've had many people reach out to me and ask me what I think. And so I'm going to tell you what I think. Before I do that, I want to just take a step back, because it's important to know that there's going to be pros and cons with any loan that you take out, period. Like, you can make a case for a pro and a con. The 50-year amortized mortgage is a tool. But the bigger focal point here that I think people are losing sight of is the dream of home ownership. How home ownership in this country changes one's net worth and wealth over time. And I know this. I've lived this. Many of you may know that I grew up in a single wide trailer for the first 10 years of my life. My parents were both what we might say blue collar. They worked on their jobs 40 plus years. We didn't have a lot of money. My parents bought this mobile home in 1967. The cost was under $10,000 to buy this mobile home, and it was on an acre of land. Yes, a completely different time. It's almost unfathomable, but hang in there with me. Over the course of their 54-year marriage, which only ended when my mom passed away, my parents owned 5 houses. Again, they didn't make a lot of money. They both had 401ks, but the majority of their wealth came through growing equity in real estate. So not only when my dad passed earlier this year, my brother and I inherited $500,000 from just real estate equity appreciation over the last 50 plus years. When I tell you that it makes a difference between renting and owning, even if there are times when maybe your property appreciates 0% per year. But on average, real estate appreciates over time. And my parents, their story really does show that. They didn't move around a lot. They weren't highly strategic, but they knew that they wanted to have a roof over my brother and I's head. My mom wanted to have the ability to do things to the house. They needed the security of knowing that the payment was going to be the payment, other than property taxes going up or homeowners insurance going up. The other thing about buying a home and leveraging a mortgage if you aren't in a position to pay cash is that realize with part of that payment, you are insulating yourself with a savings portion. So the principal part of your payment goes towards savings, goes towards your equity. That, in addition to the appreciation of the real estate market, can be life-changing. I'm not sharing this with you to try to convince you of anything. I'm just sharing with you my truth with my parents and watching these two just beautiful human beings who worked hard every single day. We never had a lot of money, but to see their lifespan change because they decided to invest in real estate. And yes, it was scary, but they never gave up on that dream because they could see that year over year, they were building a nest egg. Sorry, I'm so emotional. My mom passed in 2020, and my dad passed in March of this year. And so over the last couple of years, my brother and I helped my dad with his finances. And over the last couple of months, when he got sick, he would say, "Kelly, how much money do I have?" Because really, in his whole being, he felt like this was a gift to my brother and me and our children. And he just held on to that until the point where he could no longer communicate or talk. And so when I share with you the importance of home ownership on a family, this is just one family. It's a big deal. And this is what excites me every day to bring, no matter the home loan product, what makes sense for you. How can you become a homeowner? Is now the right time? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if not now, when? We cannot give up on this dream of home ownership because it will change lives. So, all right, I'm going to pull myself together here. Sorry about that. It obviously runs deep. As you know, though, I've been in the mortgage business for 30 years, and we got to look at the numbers. So I created a mortgage coach analysis. And really, I'm not presenting this to you to persuade you that the 30-year is better than the 50 or the 50 is better than the 30. But what I want to show you is the math. And if the 50-year helps you to become a homeowner, I think it's something to consider while you consider all of your options. But the most important thing in this analysis isn't the difference on the amortization. Clearly, on a 50-year amortized loan, you're paying more towards interest. Nobody can argue that. That's the truth. But there are ways that you could potentially leverage that 50-year amortized mortgage to purchase a home. You can pay an extra $100 a month, which is shown here, and pay it off in 40 versus 50. There's a lot of different ways you can leverage your mortgage as a tool to become financially independent. But even that isn't important. The most important thing is if you remain a renter and don't invest in real estate, what your net worth looks like. And in 10 years, it paying $3,000 of rent using an average rate rental increase of roughly 3% per year. Again, these are just averages. After that 10-year period, you will have paid roughly $419,000 without having any ownership in anything. You just paid somebody else's mortgage. Now, in the converse, assuming a 4% annual appreciation rate, remember, don't hold me to it. I'm going to hear the comments. I'm going to see the naysayers. I get it. Some years we appreciate much greater than that. Some years it's a 0 appreciation rate. I'm talking about averages. But on average, at a 4% annual appreciation rate on real estate, you will now have equity in a property that equates to $200,000 or so. That's a big deal. This is life-changing. This is a legacy. So don't listen to all the noise. Talk to somebody, whether that's somebody on the Kelly Zitlow group or anybody else that's strategic that can listen to you and help you achieve your goals. If you want to buy a home and you've got things in order, credit, income, the ability to repay, talk to somebody about the loan options that are out there that can help you achieve home ownership. Keep that big objective in mind because it really is life-changing.